I saw you at the service, didn't I? Did you know my father?
I did. Many years ago. In a different life.
I've never seen you here before. Are you from town?
I grew up here. It's been a long time since I've been back. 22 years. That makes you 26, doesn't it?
Yeah. 26 last month. You knew my father. Does that mean you knew my mother too?
I did. Very well. We grew up together.
That's great. I never really knew my mother. She died when I was 4.
She died. I hadn't heard that. I'm sorry.
Thanks. I'm sorry. I'm Jimmy, but I'm sure you knew that.
It's nice to meet you, Jimmy. I'm Catherine. Catherine Smith.
Catherine. That was my mother's name, too.
Yeah, it was a very popular name back then. I remember she liked to go by Kathy.
I was wondering, if it's not too much to ask, could you tell me about her? She died when I was so young, and Dad didn't like to talk about her much.
No, I don't mind at all. Where to start? Kathy was the kind of girl they used to refer to as high-spirited. Have you seen the pictures of the wild horses running on the beach? That was your mother. Quite wild, very free. She was always getting into mischief and then getting out of it in the most imaginative ways. I remember one time, she decided it would be a grand idea to climb the water tower. Then when she got up there, she decided the only thing to do was get completely naked. Just because. She stood there and just let the cool breeze blow around her, tickling her skin, which would have been fine, except that gentle breeze turned into a hefty gust and it blew all her clothes down onto the ground. Which also wouldn't have been a problem, except some of the local boys, including her brother, decided that they too would climb the tower that night. So they walked up, saw her clothes on the ground, looked up and saw, well, everything.
Oh, gosh.
Long story short, she convinced her brother to bring her clothes up to her, and then managed to swear all the rest of them to secrecy. She was good at that, keeping the boys in line. They all adored her, but she wasn't interested in any of them.
Were you there when she met my father?
I was. It was not too long after high school graduation. Kathy was working in the dime store, and he came in to buy a new pair of work gloves. He had just hired on at the ranch doing odd jobs.
Was it love at first sight?
For her, it sure was. He was tall and handsome. His eyes. Like you. Well, after that, they were inseparable. Less than a year later, they were married. Might have been too soon. Young love is hard to stop. He worked at the ranch. She continued at the dime store. They both wanted to be artists, so she would paint in the evenings and he would play his guitar and sing to her. At night, just before sleep, they would just make all sorts of plans to see the world.
Did they? Did they see the world? Dad never liked to talk about Mom much after she died. I think it hurt too much. And I learned real quick to quit asking.
No, they didn't. Money was tight. Something always needed fixing. Working a ranch doesn't allow for a lot of vacation time. After a few years, you came along. Everything changed. Your dad changed. He had this idea of what families were supposed to look like and act like, especially how a wife and mother was supposed to behave. Do you remember anything about her, your mother?
Just flashes of memories, really. I remember she would tell me stories, fairy tales mainly. She would let me help her in the kitchen. I remember we would sing together. There was one song she used to sing me to sleep with every night. I would ask Dad to sing it to me, but he wouldn't. Now it's just a faded memory, just like her. So, you said you didn't know she died? Does that mean you left here before?
She was very alive when I left. We didn't stay in touch. We lost track of each other.
But you were close when you were young?
As thick as thieves.
Then you should know something. Mom didn't die. She left us. Dad didn't know I found out the truth. I think it was easier for him to think of her as dead than to face reality of knowing she left us. Thank you for telling me about her.
I'm sorry your mother left you. I'm sure she had what at the time seemed like good reasons. And I'm sure she never stopped loving you and missing you.
Maybe.
What would you do if you met her?
I don't know. I would like to think that I would forgive her, but I just want to know why. Was life so terrible with us? I'm sorry. I have to go. Thank you for telling me about her.
Of course.
If it's not too strange to ask, would you mind getting dinner sometime? I would love to know more about her.
I would love to tell you all about her.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.